welcome to the Herbal Moon Goddess podcast. I'm your host, Kyra, and today we're going to be talking about shadow work and crystals, using crystals to help you do your shadow work. So last week I was talking to Ashley Michelle from Starseed Shadows here on the Herbal Moon Goddess podcast, and we're talking all about shadow work. Ashley is an absolute superstar when it comes to shadow work. So I thought, bouncing off that topic, staying on the same theme of shadow work feels really good right now, because right now at the time of recording this, in June 2021, we're in the middle of eclipse season. This eclipse energy is stirring up so much stuff, so much emotions are coming up, right? And we've got Mercury retrograde, and we've got Jupiter in Pisces encouraging this expansion of our psychic awareness and stuff. So right now, I feel like a lot of people are turning to shadow work. A lot of people are going really introspective and facing those fears, facing those inner truths, because collectively we're all seeking to evolve spiritually, right? Right now with Jupiter and Pisces, we're all kind of feeling this pull towards growing ourselves, evolving to a new spiritual level. So shadow work is really valuable for this spiritual evolution. So for shadow work, for those who don't know what shadow work is, basically it's uncovering the hidden and repressed parts of yourself. And, a lot of these times, these are quite unconscious and we don't realize them until we start digging. So you're diving really deep into those layers of consciousness and finding those hidden or repressed parts, those darker parts of yourself, becoming conscious, becoming aware of these darker parts, and learning how to love and accept these parts, so that you can love and accept yourself on a whole level. So shadow work is really powerful and it can be really intense. And this is where the use of crystals really helps with the process of doing shadow work, because they can guide you in so many different ways and provide support when you need it. So my favorite crystal for shadow work, for initiating that shadow work process, is black obsidian. Black obsidian is probably the best crystal for diving deep into your inner realms and facing inner truths. So facing those darker parts of yourself and facing all that stuff that's held up inside that you may not be aware of on a conscious level. Black obsidian will really help you find those inner parts. So I feel like the black obsidian is really good for you if, you feel called to do shadow work, but you don't know where to start. You're not really conscious of those darker parts of yourself yet. Black obsidian can be a really good starting point. The thing is that black obsidian can be quite intense. And so if you're working with black obsidian and it's really bringing up stuff for you, you may want to try a gentler form of obsidian, such as a Pachettier obsidian or perhaps snowflake obsidian. They are both great crystals to use for shadow work as well, but they're a little bit gentler than the black obsidian. So another great crystal to use is rose quartz. So rose quartz is the stone of love. For any sort of love thing, rose quartz is always mentioned, right? Rose quartz is it just radiates this loving energy of unconditional love and forgiveness and self-love. And so you can see why rose quartz can make a really good ally when you're doing shadow work, because it's all around loving yourself. It's all about finding those darker parts of yourself and loving those darker parts of yourself. So rose quartz really helps you love yourself on a deep level and fully accept yourself. And so rose quartz can be a fantastic companion for working with black obsidian or those other obsidians as well. Another crystal which may be helpful for you when doing shadow work is moldavite. And I say this because I feel like moldavite, it's like a huge powerhouse of transformation. And so shadow work is all around transforming that negative energy into loving, positive energy, right? So I feel like moldavite can be helpful for some people when that shadow work kind of requires a deep transformation, and it requires you to transform your life on all different areas, because you may be discovering that you're in a toxic relationship, or there's other things in your life that are really not great for you. So moldavite can help you find that power to transform your life through shadow work. However, take it with a grain of salt. Moldavite can be really intense, like more intense than black obsidian. So if moldavite is too intense for you, you've picked it up and it just, you have a physical reaction to it, perhaps try labradorite. Labradorite is another stone of transformation which really helps you transform your life, transform your emotions, transform your mindset. So it can be such a helpful ally when you're doing that shadow work, when you have identified those shadow aspects of the self and you're ready to transform that. You're ready to really love and accept that on a whole. So there's a number of crystals for you to use when doing shadow work. But now you might be wondering, how do you use those crystals for shadow work? So there's a few different ways that you may like to use these crystals. My favorite way is to meditate with a crystal. Like, I'll just hold the crystal in my hand and meditate with it. Like, I might just sit there and do a still mind meditation. Or if you're into guided meditations, I do have a few crystal meditations on my Insight Timer profile. Another way that you can work with these crystals is by carrying them or wearing them, and doing so for like a week or maybe even a few weeks can really bring about a noticeable effect. I pretty much wore black obsidian for like a month, and then I realized, like, wow, this is why I'm going so deep into my shadows at the moment. So wearing them for a longer period of time can really help you feel the effects of the crystals. You can also make a crystal essence, and you can also just journal while you're holding onto these crystals. Like, write out what comes up for you when you're holding these crystals, and as you're doing that shadow work, like, find some shadow work journal prompts, hold on to your crystal in one hand, have your pen in your other hand, and journal. See what comes up with the guidance of these crystals. So if you'd like to dive deeper into shadow work, there is a shadow work masterclass now available in the Herbal Moon Goddess Academy, where you'll learn exactly what shadow work is and how to integrate it into your life. You'll also get access to a shadow work meditation and discover more crystal and herbal medicine allies to help you take your shadow work even deeper. You'll find the link to sign up for the Shadow Work Masterclass in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening to me today. It's been such a pleasure chatting to you about shadow work and crystals, and I hope this has been so insightful for you. See you next time.